No, no, it's
Sorry,
perfectly
I got
fine.
delayed, from my office.
Thank you. It's all right. No issues at all.
So my only request is that let's start on time today, because generally we start a little late, and let us finish on time, because the last webinar went on for 1 hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and sometimes if the topic is too engaging, people will not leave you. But we will tell everyone that let them contact you individually, separately, if they have too many questions. So we'll try and finish within 1 hour.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
All right. So, all right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this session, on the webinar. And as the title says, it is From Stuck to Unstuck, using the SMILE strategy. So I'm just curious, how many of you over here would be comfortable turning your webcams on? Because I'm looking at just names. It would be nice to put, thank you very much. Thank you, Sajan. Thank you, Swati. Who else can I see today? I can see Sajan. I can see Siraj. Who else? Okay. I can see Jalsa. I can see Shweta. Okay, thank you very much. Because we're going to keep this interactive. So to keep it interactive, I need to see faces. I need to see smiles. So we have Hari, we've got Suresh. Thank you. Hello, hello. So a lot of you on here also already know me. Some of you know that I'm generally called the SMILE strategist. And when I say stuck to unstuck, my question to you is, how do you connect with that? How do you come to a place of wondering, oh, what's she going to talk about? How many of you came here with the wanting to understand, what is she going to talk about? What could be a SMILE strategy? A thumbs up would be nice. Reactions, we've got reactions. Zoom allows us to give thumbs ups. Yes, so great. Thank you. Swati is curious to know what a SMILE strategy is. So is Suresh. Thank you. Lovely. I'm happy with 2 thumbs up. Great. And then my own. So how are you feeling about the situation that we are in at the moment? The COVID, the corona, the lockdown, and all of that. Very, very uncertain times, right? We feel like, what's going to happen? Tell me some of the things that are running around in your mind. Hey, Walid. So tell me some of the things that are running in your head as you think of the current situation. Please write in comments. As I said, I want this to be interactive. So write up in comments what is going on in your mind as you think of the situation that's going on, that we are in. Let me tell you what's going on in my head. Okay, very uncertain. Okay, Jula says very uncertain and wanted to change plans that has been prepared prior to this pandemic. People losing jobs, okay, income, good health, thank you. What else? You know, what came to my mind is when I wrote those goals for 5 years later, I was definitely wrong about what I wrote in 2015. Raju says my audio has some issues, okay. Tabinda says job security, okay, how will it be for the next generations? Yes, that's a very important one. You can participate in chat. Yes, that's the whole point. Just please participate in chat. Put in your comments what is going on in your mind when you think of the current situation. What is coming to your mind? What are some questions that you are kind of battling with in your head? Where are you feeling stuck right now? Okay, so wondering how we can cope up with the situation and make use of the situation. Interesting. So let me take you on a little journey. There I was, the beginning of August, 20 years ago, standing against a sink full of accomplishment, loads and loads of dishes after a family gathering, a successful family gathering with friends and family. I had my little one, who was just 8 months old, had just fallen asleep. My child, my elderborn, my firstborn, was doing her homework. She had just started school. She was learning to color inside the lines. And in that moment of bleak joy, I asked myself the most profound question. And those of you who know me know this question. The question I asked myself was, there must be more to life than diapers and dishes. Doesn't it happen that you are standing there feeling like, oh, what more can I do with myself? What more can I do in this situation? And so I asked myself that question. I was a graduate of science. I had grown up in Kuwait, and I thought, what could I do? I thought I'd do tuitions. But was that what I really wanted to do? I had a love for language, and one thing led to another, and I found out about the Dubai Ladies Writing Group. I connected with them, and therefrom started my journey into media. I started writing for the local newspaper, for the tabloid, and between then and now, I've been editor of 2 different magazines. And when I became the editor, I didn't even know what a flat plan was. Those of you in the media industry, I didn't even know what a flat plan was. It's the basic core structure that a person needs to know as they plan forward. I worked with KHDA, the Knowledge and Human Development Authority, and have even written scripts for ZTV. How did I do this? As simple as asking the right question, perhaps. So when we are in that really turmoiled situation, the questions we ask are often not very subjective. We tend to ask questions like, why is this happening to me? How can I change things? I mean, it looks like my subconscious taking over. We ask questions like, why is this happening to me? Why me? How can I get out of this? What's going on here? What is the problem? Why am I in this stuck situation? Constantly asking the wrong questions. And because we're asking the wrong questions, the universe says, here you go. This is the reason why this is happening to you. It gives you even more evidence as to why what is happening to you is happening to you. Would you agree? The more you focus on something, the more you get evidence of why it's happening. Right. So we have more questions coming in about what's going on in people's minds. So wondering how you can cope up with the situation and make use of the situation. When will this COVID end? Health conditions, food programs, cost cuts, economic recession. Waleed says, primarily not having a plan is unnerving. Yes. And most often when we don't have a plan, that's how we feel. We are constantly thinking about the things that go wrong. A person in a day tends to have 12 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. And close to 90% of these thoughts are on repeat, are on loop. When life gave me the opportunity, I took it up and I did a TEDx talk. And for the TEDx talk, I coined an acronym for SMILE. And as I progressed, I realized this could be something that I can work on. This could be something that I begin to, explore as a mindset training tool. Just give me a moment, please. Yeah. So I thought this would be a great idea to explore as a mindset training tool. But they say man plans and God decides. After having 1 or 2 successful sessions with my SMILE strategy as a mindset tool, the whole big picture plan was to take my kids to, because kids were just starting university, the plan was to take them off to Australia drop my son, meet my daughter, come back and focus on myself. But that was around the same time when I lost my dad and came to a place where I didn't want to coach, I didn't want to write, I didn't want to speak. For someone who's talkative, that could be quite a hindrance. I came back from India back home and realized it's tough. It's tough. And on a bus ride a few months later with my son, I looked at him and said, we've got an hour to complete this ride. You can actually go to sleep. So he looked up at me and he said, so Ma, what have you been up to? My first response was, I'm your mother. You're not supposed to speak to me like that. Ever happened? Someone throws you a difficult question and you tend to tell them, you're not supposed to ask me that, because you feel like they're getting into your space. They're making it difficult for you. So that was my first response. No, you're not supposed to ask me that. I am your mom. And he said, all of that is fine, but what about accountability? Whew, big one. Big one. So what are certain questions that you have been asking yourself? The S in my S.M.I.L.E acronym is silence the mind. So you've been very honest in sharing all of those thoughts that come in into your mind as you go through these challenging times. Tell me, would it be interesting or would it be of value to you to have a strategy, to have a step so that you can silence your mind? Let me know in comments. Would it be helpful to have a strategy to just silence your mind? So what are certain ways that you could silence your mind? Yes? By writing, thank you. Yes? What else? Shweta says by writing. What else could you do? Be more engaged on interesting things. Vivek says meditation. Thank you. What else? All right. Any other? What if I said you can silence your mind by just, okay? Valid says, I've been focusing on my talents that I did not pay attention to. Thank you. Reflection. Thank you. So this, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so this is a line that I've drawn on this piece of paper. How can you shorten this line without cutting through it, without drawing through the line or cutting it in half or doing any such thing? Without touching the line, how can you make this line appear shorter? Sajan says, draw a bigger line. Couldn't you wait? So great. Draw a bigger line. So you draw a bigger line and you make the first one look. Fold the paper. No, not fold the paper. Draw a bigger line. So you draw a bigger line, and that's how the first line becomes shorter than the big one. So when you have thoughts running in your head, a good way to silence your mind is to shift your attention to something else. Like Walid says, he's focusing on his talents that I did not pay attention to, that he did not pay attention to in the past. So let's do this. Let's focus on our breathing. I want you to put one hand on your chest and the other hand on your belly, and just observe for a moment. Where are you breathing? Is it your chest? Is it your hand on your chest that's moving more? Or is it your hand on your belly that is moving more? So I would like to have a reaction, a thumbs up or something, so that you can tell me, is it your hand on the chest that is moving? So give me a thumbs up if it's the hand on your chest that is moving more, please. Is it your hand on your chest that is moving more? Okay, Dharmendra said yes, it's hand on the chest that's moving more. Kiran says yes, hand on the chest. Okay, Nawal says hand on the chest. Thank you. All right. What about the others? Is it the hand on the belly that is moving more? A thumbs up for the hand on the belly, please. Okay, hand on the belly. Hari says yes. Swati says hand on the belly. Okay, Sargent says hand on the belly. Okay, I can see we have got 32 participants. And Shweta says hand on the belly. Thank you very much. So great. So out of the 32 participants, I had close to 14 people reply to me, 10 to 14 of us replying to me about hand on the chest or hand on the belly. I'm just curious, for those of you who did not give me a hands up for chest or belly, are you okay? Because your hand has to move. It has to be either the chest or the belly. If you didn't give me a hands up for either of those, that means there's something wrong there. So I hope you're well. Let's do a little bit of a breathing exercise. All right. And let me show you how breathing can help you silence your mind. So at the count of, I'm going to do a count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe, hold your breath. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out. Okay, so it's slow, deep breathing that we're going to do. And we're going to do it for a count of 5. Okay, so 5 deep breaths. So sit up if you need to. Let go of anything that you're holding on to, and I want you to just watch me. Because I'll be counting, I will not be doing the exercise. I will be giving you instructions, and please play along, because I really don't want to be talking at you. I want this to be a conversation. Let's keep it as interactive as we can. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. So let's do this. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Breathe out. First breath done. Second, breathe in. Hold in. And breathe out. Okay. Third breath. Breathe in. 5. Hold in. Breathe out. Third breath. Were we on the third breath or the fourth breath? Fourth. Thank you. So breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Last one, and please make this one totally count. Let's do this one last time. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Thank you. Let me know in comments, were you able to think of anything else as we did this exercise? Just let me know in comments, please. No, thank you. Anybody else? No. No, thank you. So yes, no. Afzal says no. Thank you. Hari Prasad says no, thank you. So breathing is one of the techniques within the S, which is silence the mind. It's just one of the multiple techniques I have in silencing the mind, focusing on your breath. And what happens when you focus on your breath? When you focus on your breath, you center yourself. You bring your focus to yourself. You hold your breath. You're counting. You're distracting other thoughts from getting into your way. What you're technically doing is you are focusing on something else other than what is probably worrying you in that moment. So this could be a technique you use just before you head in for an interview. This could be a technique that you use just before a presentation, for that matter. This could be a technique that you use before you have that difficult conversation with somebody. For some of us, this could be a technique that you use before you speak to your wife or to your husband or your boss, for that matter. So these could be some techniques that you put into place. So tell me, those of you who haven't watched the TEDx talk, or maybe if you have, what do you think M stands for? So it's a SMILE strategy, right? So S stands for silence the mind. What would M stand for? Any guesses? What would M stand for? What would M stand for? Make up your mind. I wish. What else? Meditate the mind. Meditate is part of the silence technique. So it's one of the other, and because we are limited time, what I'm going to do is just kind of breeze through it, move forward, mindfulness, okay. What else? What does M stand for? Okay, I'm going to tell you what it stands for because we're already halfway through the time that I've been given. So M stands for manage your attention. So as I look at the number of people over here, where is my attention going? Is it going to the number of participants? Is it going to the people who have come on board? Is it going to the message that I need to deliver? Or is it going elsewhere altogether? Because most often, when we are in a tough situation, our mind tends to kind of wander off towards the negative, right? Let me give you an example. As a mom, if I am to call my children and they do not answer my phone, and I'm sure you guys have been there, where your parents have called you and you've not answered. And if you've not answered once, it's okay. If you've not answered twice, all right. Not answered thrice, then you know you are definitely in trouble, because your mom is now panicking and wondering what happened to you, what went wrong, what could be the matter. And it's just not a mother-child thing. It seeps into other relationships too, at work, when we're looking at relationships, not just at work, also as a colleague. When you're calling somebody, when they don't answer, the first thought that comes to your mind upon making multiple calls is, what went wrong? It's rarely that we think about, maybe they're busy, or maybe their phone ran out of battery, or maybe they're out of reach for whatever reason. We do not calm ourselves. We are constantly thinking negative. So manage your attention. Where is your attention going? Let's do a quick exercise. How many of you are up for an exercise? Actually, let's do the exercise. So do you have, would you be okay to switch on your webcams, or would you like to do this as Would you like to switch on your webcams? Yes, no? I don't see any webcams turning on, so I think that's a no. But for those of you who are watching and do have your webcams on, let's do this. So follow me when I give you instructions. So 1, 2, 3, clasp, okay? So 1, 2, 3, claps, clasp. All right, so let's do this. So just watch me and follow through. So 1, 2, 3, clasp. Okay? And when you do that, no, clasp as in your fingers go together. You're doing that. All right? And as you do that, just look at which thumb is on top of the other. Is it the right or the left? Which one is it? All right, you're being okay. So how many have the right thumb on the right? Okay, Afzal's got the right, Shalyn's got right, okay. Anybody has got their left thumb on? I have my left thumb on. That doesn't make you a brighter person, just say. Okay, so right, left. Okay, great. Thank you for participating. Now, what we're going to do is, on the count of 3, we're going to do the same thing all over again, but this time we're consciously going to put the wrong thumb over. So if your right thumb was over, please you make sure that you consciously put your left thumb over it. I had the left one over, so I'm going to put the right one over it. Okay, let's do this one more time. Maybe more than once. 1, 2, 3. You have to clasp. Kiran's having a good time. Let's do this one more time. 1, 2, 3. Let's do this one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm getting good at this because I show this. Shalene says can't. Yes, it's tough. It's tough, isn't it? So it makes you get a little muddled up. It makes you get a little kind of jumbled, right? Because you're doing something that isn't natural to you. To do it this way and to find the natural thumb coming on top of the other is a natural way of doing things. To think negatively in a situation is a natural way of thinking because that has become an ingrained way of being. Sanju says it doesn't happen automatically. Rukmini says can. Shalene says can't. It's difficult. Okay, so a lot of us are going to notice that it's going to be difficult to swap fingers in a moment. In an instant, it's going to be difficult.
Ma'am, can I
Yes.
interrupt?
Yes, please.
It also depends.
Can I see you? Yes,
it also
please.
depends on the sequence of other fingers. It's not only yeah. It.
Yes. So that it depends on.
If
You're stuck, Suresh?
I think Mr. Suresh, your audio is stucking as well as your picture also. That's the reason.
Okay.
But I do hear you, Suresh, when you're saying, and I do agree with you. So it's not just about the thumb; it's about the entire. You have to adjust your entire system to do this. Yes.
Yes.
So that's my whole point. When you're moving from a situation that is challenging to a system that is more different, you have to adjust your complete self. You have to adjust yourself mentally. You have to adjust yourself emotionally. You have to sometimes even adjust yourself physically, right? Sometimes you need to move from one job to the other. Sometimes you need to kind of get into the flow of things in a different way. So it's about understanding where your attention is going when you're doing things differently. I hope that helps. Suresh? Yep. All right. Thank you. So M stands for manage your attention. And of course, there are more steps to it, but respecting time, moving on. I, what does I stand for? Yes, I tried. It feels like finger sequence. Yes. What does I stand for? Intention. Swati, have you been watching my TED Talk? So a round of applause for Swati. A round of applause for Swati, and congratulations, because yes, that is what I stands for. I stands for identify the intention. Because isn't that so powerful when you know what your intention is? Isn't that so powerful when you know what your why is? So some of us are driven with the intention to serve. Some of us are, it flows naturally from focusing attention. Yes, it does. You know, I've presented this content across 6 different countries already, and I've spoken to different kinds of audiences, right from students to teachers to parents to corporate space. And what I've learned is each of these steps beautifully, seamlessly kind of flows into the other. So from attention, obviously, comes the intention. Identify the intention. Simon Sinek talks about it in his book, Start With Why. You know, so it is start with your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? When I stood there at that sink full of dishes and asked myself that profound question, there must be more to life than diapers and dishes. What was my intention? Why did I want to do more with life than diapers and dishes? Because I knew 2 very important people in my life are watching. I knew that my daughter is going to watch and know that, hey, this is how mums can be. My son is going to watch and say, hey, this is how you treat your life partner. This is how your life partner can grow in a relationship. You know, 2 people who are going to realize that, this is how a person can be in a relationship if she chooses to. All about the choices. That for me was the intention. What is your intention? What fuels you? Some of us are driven with serving, as I said. Some of us are driven with maybe making our parents proud, making our children proud, earning money, doing good. What drives you? Are you aware of it? Are you aware of what drives you? Would you like to share in comments what drives you? Would you like to share in comments? What is your intention when you are moving from a space of feeling stuck to unstuck? What is it that you are driven by? Some of us want to leave a legacy. For me, my smile is my legacy. My smile is the legacy I want to leave behind. I want to be remembered as that person who gave more meaning to a smile than just this, just that expression of a smile. That for me is also a purpose that drives me. So legacy is important to some of us. Contributing meaningfully in any way. Thank you, Swati, for sharing. Freedom, whether it's in personal or professional life, freedom is a very, very strong value that some of us have. Yes, freedom to just be yourself, freedom to contribute as yourself. What else? What else could be some of the things that somebody is driven by? Values, choices of life, big one. To serve, to be independent. Thank you for sharing, people. Choices of life. And isn't it so true that choices have consequences? The choices you make shape or break you. So, yes, thank you. Keeping everyone around happy. Peace. Thank you. Honest to yourself. Thank you. Great. Great, great, great intentions to be driven by. Great intentions to be driven by. And these constantly will be the fuel that keep you moving forward. Identify the intention. Understand what drives you. moving to the last two alphabets. L stands for, any guesses? Any guesses what L stands for? I have been doing these, as I said, across different countries and audiences. And L is always the one that has people rolling their eyes. Love for life, listening. Tabina says, independence, bring affluence around humans. That is her intention. Great. What else is there? What else could L stand for? Love for life, listening, learn, thank you. What else? Remember, this is something that people roll their eyes at. They say, not possible. I'm giving you a clue. Love, loyalty. Loyalty, lead, okay. What else? Laughter, let go. Suresh gets it this time. Let's celebrate him because yes, L stands for let things go. Thank you, Suresh. L stands for let things go. And when I'm talking about letting things go, what are certain things that you need to let go of? What are certain things that are holding you back? Past experiences, past failures, some grudge, some anger, certain grudge, yes. So how could you let go of this? Because labels that you might have taken on, you can let go of grudges by pardoning others, yes. And how about forget and forgive? Yes, thank you. So when you closure in our heart and mind, Simran says closure in our heart and mind is what leads to people letting things go. Anil has joined us all the way from South Africa. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining. So yes, it's all right that you are late. You've come in to receive the message that is meant for you. So let things go. When you are in a situation where you feel angry, you feel a grudge, you feel bitter about something, let it go. How would you do that? By, as she rightfully said, by forgiving and forgetting, by pardoning the other person. My question to you is, are you meant to forgive that person only? Or are you also meant to forgive yourself? Because you allowed something to impact you that much. Because you allowed something to be of that kind of, to have that grip on you that it began to influence the way you behaved. It began to influence the way you conducted yourself, the way you came across as a person. So forgive, let things go. Also, a great idea would be to let go of any labels that you might have taken on. What could be some labels that we take on? One of the labels that I had taken on from an early childhood, or I'm constantly asking myself is, am I good enough? That's a label. What's a label that you might have taken on that is probably not serving you? Am I good enough? Can I do this? How can I say no? Oh my God, that's a powerful one. Thank you, Nawal, for sharing. Can I say no? Because we're so used to saying yes, and we feel there's so much of guilt that comes with that expression of saying no, because we feel like if we say no, the other person might feel offended. If we say no, we might come across as incapable. We might come across as too busy, or What are certain things that come in your mind? What holds you back from saying no? What holds you back? What do you think is the reason why some people can't say no? I gave you some examples. I said you might come across as being rude, you might come across as being too busy, might come across as incompetent, thinking of what others would think of us. Thank you. Kindness, yeah, out of kindness and courtesy. Fear of rejections, yes. So yeah, so becoming unpopular, yeah, that's just to keep others happy. The consequences of it, you lose business, insecurity. Thank you for your honesty, everyone. So yeah, so these are the things. Overthinking is bothersome after saying no. But when you're saying no, who are you respecting? Fear of departing? Thank you. So these are some of the things. Fear incompatibility in society. What if they get upset? Thanks. Very, very valid points. This is how we are driven. We don't want to say no. So what if they get upset? Yeah. So these are things that could possibly happen. Ego. Haha, big one, ego. Where you don't want to say no because you want to constantly be in that space of pleasing everybody. But in that space of pleasing everybody, are you serving yourself? That's the question, because where in your list of people you love do you come? Where do you come in your list of people you love? Have you even put your name there, is my question to you. Anil says, forgiveness from us may even help diffuse someone else's anger that could turn out to be detrimental. Pride, Sujit Man says, pride. Yeah. So we hold on to labels that we have. We hold on to past failures and experiences that we have, and we behave from a space of insecurity, from a space of ego, from a space of fear. We were traveling. I had visited Amman. We were at the Dead Sea. And what's that one thing about the Dead Sea that all of us know, the entire world knows? What is that one thing about the Dead Sea that we all know? It's salty, okay? What else? And because it's salty, what happens? You will not sink. You can't swim. Yes, thank you. So you will not sink. So that's what it is. I don't know how to swim. You will not drown. Actually, that's what I was looking for. Thank you, Tabinda. So you will not drown. We were in Amman. I was at the Dead Sea. I don't know how to swim. And I was really excited to get into the Dead Sea and just let go and relax and kind of, just float. Because that's what the world says, right? That's what you read about the Dead Sea, that you get into the sea and you float. But what does your mind do? You're scared. You're scared of consequences. And you get into, so I walked in and there were these stones, these rocks by the side of the sea. And I held on to it. And the whole idea was just let go and float and enjoy that experience of floating. But I held on to the rocks. I held on because I was scared. I was scared that I would drown. I was scared because I didn't know how to swim. Yes, the facts are that you won't drown. The facts are that you will float. But guess what? Fear is so scary. I held on to those rocks. I held on to those rocks, and those are all crystalline salt rocks. And as I held on to them, they began to scar me. They began to cut into my skin. Razor sharp, salty, piercing rocks. Those crystals began to hurt me. But I still held on. Isn't that what we're doing when we're holding on to past failures? because we're letting those failures define how we feel about ourselves. We're not taking another chance. We're still holding on to something that is hurting us. Imagine being in the water, salty water, getting scratched and still holding on. So my question to you is, what is it that you are holding on to? And what is it that is not serving you? Is it a past failure? Is it an experience? Is it a relationship? How to let go? I will get into that, but we have just 10 minutes and I'm going to be sharing with you a feedback form, and I'm happy to take on one-to-one conversations with you if you'd like to. With the amount of salt, you feel like you're burning too. Exactly. So it's so much of pain that you go through when you have that kind of a hurt. And so the ideal thing to do is to let go and trust the process. So let things go. If you've had a failure, let it go. You had a failure. You were not the failure. If you've slipped and fell, brush yourself up. Be gentle. Let your body recuperate and then move forward. There is no rush for normalcy. Last but not least, and being very mindful of time, E stands for energize the possibilities. Big one, right? So when I started out, I had left a message saying you might want to, you might want to get a pen and paper and write down anything that really strikes out to you as, wow, that was a light bulb moment for me. So maybe some of you have been probably writing down notes, or maybe just making mental note of certain things that really stood out for you. So is there anything within this conversation that really struck out for you? Something that you might have written down. It could have been just to silence the mind. It could have been something to do with attention, something to do with intention. Thank you, Raju, for your feedback. Thank you so much. So it could be anything. It could be notes that you were taking down. So my question is, how many of us, Anil says, we should all strive to forget the past negatives and incidences and look forward to positive explanations. In South Africa, it is called fumbili, forgetting the past and looking into the future. Interesting. I like the sound of it, fumbili. It's like fumbling into the future. It's like letting go of something and moving forward into the future. So thank you for sharing that. E stands for energize the possibilities. What do I mean by that? I mean, put energy into the learnings. I have given you 4 steps to move forward in life. I have given you 4 different steps in terms of, we would like to host you for online session. If that's okay with you, I would be honored. I will be sharing with you, sorry. So I will be sharing, as I said, a feedback session. I know I've just literally just skimmed through the details of this, and I'd be more than happy to go more in depth into it when I do my workshops. That's how I do it. When I do one-to-one coaching, we look deeper into your behavior patterns, things that are kind of holding you back, things that can project you forward, and of the sorts. Now, quickly, coming back to E, which is energize the possibilities, it is all about putting energy into the learning. So yes, we go to webinars, we attend courses, we listen to podcasts, we read books, we have conversations, masterminds with friends. We gather all this knowledge, and then what? We make notes, we get folders and books and flyers, and we do shelf development instead of self development. because all of that lessons, all of the learning goes kept away, tucked away in folders. What if you put energy into it? What if you use that to kind of propel yourself forward? So what is the one thing that you're going to do differently this conversation forward? Is my question to you. What is that one thing that you're going to do differently this conversation forward? Simran says, not to hold on to the past and get scared, explore and embrace the future. Fuel the jet. True. All right. What is the one thing that you're going to do this conversation forward? What is the one thing that you're going to do differently? So take it easy. Take time. Time takes care of most things. Swati says, continue on the path of intention. Thank you. Powerful one. Application in life. Yes, please do. Because it can be as simple as a smile. Breathe and let it go. Would understand more and my audience better. Hey, Raju, you didn't go. Thank you. That means I had you held on here. Thank you. Simran says, be positive, believe in yourself. Powerful. What else? What else are you guys going to do differently? What would you like to do differently this conversation forward? Clasp the other hand. I was waiting for somebody to bring that up. So let's do this one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it takes practice. It takes practice because it is all about silencing your mind, getting yourself in that space of attention, and then taking action, identifying what you need to do. And as Suresh rightfully pointed out, it's not just about one thumb, it's about the entire system. The entire system and the entire alignment needs to change. So if you remember, I was on that bus with my son who asked me, so Ma, what have you been up to? I pushed him away saying, you can't ask me that question. I'm your mother. And he said, what about accountability? That got me thinking. And I had an existing tribe on my Facebook page. I used to write quotes. My page is actually called RK Writes, R-I-T-E-S, because my mom used to constantly complain that my spellings are bad. So I said, I shall own it. R-I-T-E-S, R-K, R-I-T-E-S on Facebook. I used to put up my quotes, my own. I'm a bit of a chatterbox, you must have guessed by now. So I would put up my quotes, and I went back to that page after coming back to UAE, and I made a list of how many quotes I have of my own. And guess what? I had close to 600 of them. So I asked my existing circle of genius saying, guys, would you be interested in having videos done? And some of them, because it's such a close-knit circle, they said, they knew I was going through the struggle. They said, yes. You never ask a question without respecting the answer. If you have asked a question, you have to respect the answer. That's how I work. So I said, great. I started doing daily videos. And today was day 792 of my daily commitment. So I've been doing the videos daily since May 1st, 2018. This is my place to serve. This is my place to contribute. This is my place to add a bit of optimism to the world. And from those spaces of growth, those moments and nuggets of wisdom, I call it hashtag connecting the thoughts. From those moments of connecting the thoughts came opportunities to speak, came opportunities to do workshops, came opportunities like these, for which I am so thankful. So we have a few, I've shared with you the link to the feedback form. Please fill it in. And some of the comments that came in is, Simran says, be positive, believe in yourself, clasp the other hand, put on efforts to do what I couldn't do before. Thank you. I think I will focus on my top rocks, my strength, my prayer, my knowledge base, my values, my vision and mission. Invite you for more sessions. I'd love that. I'd be more than happy to come and present some more. Smile more, it's contagious. One of my quotes is, let your smile be more contagious. Yes, all pun intended to COVID. The concept of clasping hands was a real eye-opener. Thank you. And Simran, being positive and believing in yourself truly sums it up. Great. Never lose hope in yourself. Thank you, everybody. So this is what it is. Do you have any questions? What questions do you have?
So anyone has a questions, you can have it, we can start asking the questions. No questions?
Suresh says, you're an awesome speaker. Thank you very much, Suresh. Try me with questions. Would you please do it once again? Clasping hands, I missed it out. Okay, all right. Okay, so let me just do this one more time. And for all of us who are a big sport, let's do this. And I see Sajjan is already excited. 1, 2, I think he's going to be one of the people who masters it even before we leave the webinar today. So 1, 2, 3, clasp. Kiran, did you get it? Yes. Sajjan, did you get it? Awesome. So great. What about you, Sanju? Did you get it? 1, 2, 3. All right. Who is your role model? Okay, my role model. You don't know him. My role model is my dad. Papa is my role model because he taught me about gratitude. He taught me about acceptance. He taught me about so many things that I saw growing up, how a person should conduct their life, how a person should be fair in their life, and how a person should be forgiving. So for me, my role model is and always will be my dad. But if you were to look outside of the place of my world, and if you were to look slightly further, I think I enjoy the work of Mel Robbins. She is somebody who came up with the 5-second rule, which is when you feel like not doing something, then give yourself only 5 seconds to make that decision and take action, and count backwards and zoom out and do the action like as though you were a spacecraft. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and zoom. Thank you, Ruqya. Thank you so much, Rukmini, for the comment. The award-winning smile must always be there. Thank you so much. I've shared the form for the feedback. I will also be sharing it later on with you on email. Please share feedback with me. 2 new messages. Thank you, Ruqya. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in.
Ruqya ma'am, your video will be available by tomorrow over the website. Okay.
Okay.
So I already mentioned the website address in the chat box. People can have a look in that one. So there is a speaker section. Earlier, Nishi ma'am's section is also there. Okay, already. And Sajjana section is also there. And your other videos, like what you have shared me, the YouTube, that will be a dedicated page will be allotted for the members. They can register themselves and they can start watching your websites, and your connections all already mentioned in the website, like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Thank you.
Everything is connected there.
Thank you.
Even your email is also there.
Thank you.
So,
feel free to reach out, people. As I said, I also do one-to-one sessions. So feel free to join in, and I'd be more than happy to support you and take the conversation forward. We've just literally just skimmed through, and there's so much more to the S.M.I.L E than just those 5 points. Thank you, Mr. Shukla. Thank you, Samir, and thank you, Kiran, for this opportunity to serve on the platform. It's been great interacting with everyone. And I do hope everybody smiles more often and sees more in a smile than that.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much,
Ruqya.
Ruqya. I
It
think
was a lovely
really
session.
everybody enjoyed.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming, and hope our members can contact you directly if they need any further help.
Awesome.
So a great session overall.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Simran, you were trying to say something. I probably cut it off.
Well, nothing much, but yeah, definitely would like to appreciate the way Ruqya has explained us simple objectives of life and how to look into, our future and how to deal with it. Very, very happy to be a part of this. I'm so sorry I'm a little late. I wish I was early on time. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ruqya. Pleasure meeting you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Welcome, dear.
Thanks, and bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.